hid the cases of type at the back of the tenements in Gardner Street, and then that was on Easter Sunday. On Easter Monday morning, then first light in, boom, got them and down into Liberty Hall. I'm Freddie Snow. I'm a retired printer. I've been printing since 1962, and I'm still printing. They were under tremendous pressure on the machine, which is similar to the one we have here behind me, which is a Wharfdale stop cylinder, but their one was only half the size of this one. The machine was a heap of scrap that James Connolly bought because the British had brought out a rule when World War I started that anybody caught printing anything subversive whatsoever was liable to be charged with treason and executed. So Connolly decided to go and get his own machine, and the only machine he could get was a Wharfdale that was clapped out. It was an absolute banger. They had very little type themselves in Liberty Hall, right? And on Good Friday, when Connolly called in the printers, right, and he had a word with them anyway, and the two comps knew they didn't have enough. They didn't know exactly what they were going to be printing, but had an idea, and they didn't have enough type. So they went off looking for type, more type, and they went to Joe Stanley, the Gaelic press over in Liffey Street, and he had been raided, his machine and all was gone, but the Brits had taken his machine away and all his type. But what they hadn't taken away, right, which was a godsend, they had forms like this. A form is the frame, and the furniture here, coins, and the type and a block that makes up the whole page. So the compositors would set that up, and that would be given to the printer then to go on the machine, like on the back here, on the flat. Everybody was on alert. The authorities were on alert, waiting, knowing there was something big going to happen, didn't know what. So they did a hell of a job camouflaging the cases of heavy type, but every dub knows a guy. Oh, jeez, I know a guy that can do that, right? And next thing, Andy Mulligan, known as the Dazzler, he had a hand cart, and he was a member of the organisation, right? But he was called the Dazzler because he always had a shirt and tie on him, going around with his hand cart. So he went and he got the type and all onto his hand cart, covered it up with whatever, and then made his way down through the crowds, all the way down to heading down. And next thing, there was roadblocks and checks in, let's say, Talbot Street or whatever, so into Gardner Street, and he hid the cases of type at the back of the tenements in Gardner Street, and then that was on Easter Sunday. On Easter Monday morning, then first light in, boom, got them and down into Liberty Hall. So they got enough type then to start doing the job, or so they thought. If you have a job like that to do, what you would do, your two compositors, you split it in half, and you give one compositor the top half and the other the bottom half, and they'd work independently of each other on two stones and make up. But they realised quickly they didn't have enough type even then. So what they decided to do then, because printers are very inventive, right? What they decided to do was, right, we'll print, and this is where Christy Brady came into it, the printer. We'll print it in two passes, not two halves, two passes. And they would just set the type for the top half and run it through the press and print it. And then when they finished that, they would take that type from the top half and distribute it back into the cases, right? And then set the type for the bottom half, and then just run the printed sheet with the top on it through the machine again and just the bottom on it. And that's how a lot of people think they printed in two halves and somehow stuck it together. They didn't. They used their head and did it that way.